At what point does free speech become hate speech? That's the question that viewers of The Talk have been asking themselves ever since TV personality Sharon Osbourne's controversial outburst towards comedian Sheryl Underwood. The two clashed after Underwood suggested Osbourne was giving legitimacy to bigoted views after she came out in support of her friend Piers Morgan in regards to Meghan Markle's claims that journalists such as Morgan came close to ruining her life. This heated chat on The Talk is not the first time that Osbourne has found herself in hot water, but the ramifications of this particular conversation may be too great for her to be able to bounce back anytime soon. Let's dig deeper into this controversy. Earlier this month, CBS aired Oprah's explosive interview with British royals Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. In this interview, Meghan claimed, amongst other things, that she had been left scarred by negative media coverage and that she believes that the press hold bigoted views towards her due to her skin color and outspoken opinions. In the firing line for these particular comments was outspoken TV presenter Piers Morgan, who was confronted by co-host Alex Beresford on Good Morning Britain over comments Morgan had made previously about Meghan Markle. Morgan's prior comments included doubts about whether Meghan had truly suffered due to the press and whether this really had an impact on her mental health. Co-host Alex Beresford claimed that Morgan continues to trash Meghan and that Morgan's behavior was diabolical. In response, Morgan walked off set and after a record number of complaints from viewers, made the decision to leave Good Morning Britain. But how has this ruined Sharon Osbourne's career? Well, as a close personal friend of Piers Morgan, she was keen to leap to his defense on Twitter and on the TV show The Talk, stating that she believed her friend should be allowed to share his truth without fear of reprisal. This concerned fellow The Talk host Sheryl Underwood, who asked of Osbourne, "What would you say to people who may feel that while you're standing by your friend, it appears that you give validation or safe haven to something that he has uttered that is racist?" Quick to leap to her own defense, Osbourne then demanded to know how she, in particular, could be racist against anybody and anything in her life, with parts of her on-air rant even being silenced by producers. After a forced ad break, which producers hoped would lower the tension, Osbourne came back in full force, telling Underwood to stop crying and demanding Underwood educate her on Morgan's supposedly bigoted comments.
I've been asking you during the break. I am asking you again, and don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation. Yeah. You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me, tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me. Tell me.
Osbourne scoffed when Underwood claimed that she was not attacking her friend, but while things soon seemed to calm down on air, off air became an entirely different story. Producers of The Talk even put the show on hiatus for 2 days while the results of the spat became apparent. In an interview, Osbourne claimed that she had been blindsided by Underwood on the show, something that the presenters had promised they would never do to each other. Her story goes that producers had told her that the Meghan Markle interview would be discussed, but did not give her prior access to the questions that would be asked. When the questions became more specific and seemed to center on Sharon's friendship with Piers Morgan specifically, she was surprised at the feeling of being attacked for defending her friend. With this in mind, and with Osbourne claiming that Underwood refused to explain herself during the forced ad break, it is no wonder that she felt the need to defend herself. What is in question, however, is the ferocious, and some would say aggressive way that the 68-year-old turned on Underwood and created a space full of tension on set. Osbourne has repeatedly reached out to Underwood to apologize for her negative behavior and has turned the blame for the heated confrontation onto the company who produced The Talk. With The Talk now on hiatus, new claims about Osbourne have emerged from former co-hosts Leah Remini and Holly Robinson Peete, who have both claimed that Osbourne has used highly bigoted and anti-Asian language in front of them, and even asked producers to fire Peete for being too ghetto, which she denies. Osbourne has raised concerns over whether she'll be able to return to the show, even claiming that she may be past the point of conversation with Sheryl Underwood and the producers she believes set her up. Underwood has claimed that she feels good about the way things unfolded on The Talk, saying that she was relieved as she didn't do anything to anybody. Underwood also claims that she and Osbourne squashed their disagreements off air and that she saw their conversation as a way to step up and show what she was made of in a personal way. Is it fair to say that a scrap like this could really end Osbourne's career for good? Some would think so, in light of past comments she's made, both on the show and elsewhere. In 2011, Osbourne came under fire for comments made during a segment where she appeared to laugh over torture. Speaking of a man who was attacked and mutilated beyond repair by his wife, Osbourne claimed that she thought it was quite fabulous and was later forced to apologize for her sexist remarks. Then in 2016, Sharon waded into the Brexit vote when she claimed that she was glad to see the UK leaving the EU, claiming the UK was overrun with immigrants and was becoming too overpopulated and congested. These comments left people confused, as many pointed out that Osbourne was an immigrant herself, being from the UK, but now living in California with her family. Sheryl Underwood is not the only apparent friend of Sharon's that the reality TV star has turned on. In 2018, Sharon also turned on friend and music mogul Simon Cowell when she quit her role as a judge on singing competition The X Factor. In a statement, Osbourne said that The X Factor was nothing but karaoke, and that the kids who sing in her face and that Simon Cowell was a pain to work with. Her tirade even ended with her fat-shaming Simon Cowell, who later claimed that he was unfazed by Osbourne's comments, stating, "Words don't hurt me." In this particular instance, Sharon hadn't finished attacking her former boss. 6 months later, Osbourne told the press that she had not quit the X Factor, but had instead been fired. According to Sharon, Simon Cowell had told producers of his show that he wanted to replace Sharon with somebody young. Ignoring the fact that Cowell had taken her previous comments in good grace, Sharon once again made negative remarks about his body and withdrew from taking part in the X Factor live shows. A source close to Simon Cowell labeled these comments as shocking attacks and said there was no way that Sharon would be allowed back on the X Factor in light of the way she seemed determined to bite the hand that had once fed her. After these jokes landed her in hot water, Osbourne stunned the world yet again when she claimed that her bad temper and outbursts are due to Tourette's syndrome. When some people pointed out that this condition forces a person to make involuntary sounds or movements called tics and not to get in arguments with Simon Cowell backstage on The X Factor, Sharon grew defensive. She told tabloids that she had Tourette's without too much swearing, and that people always remember the bad things about her career. She said that it was important for her to own her past mistakes and try to move on to become a better person. In her attempt to become a better person, the reality star caused drama once again in 2019 when discussing controversial English politician Jeremy Corbyn. In an interview, Osbourne spoke about how she believed hate speech was damaging her home country of England. Then, with no sense of irony, went on to say about Corbyn that, "I hate him so much, I want to hurt him. He's revolting, so ugly. Inside out, he's repulsive." So, with her current career and former controversies back under the microscope, do you think Sharon can come back from this, or is her career over for good? Perhaps you even agree with her and think she was set up by producers in order to be another victim of cancel culture. Let us know in the comments, and keep your eyes peeled because the Meghan Markle drama probably has more victims left to claim.